Hello there and welcome to another replay of StarCraft, as I am a Terran player who loves to cast and talk about strategies. I have a one-on-one on the ladder on Antigua Shipyard against a Protoss player, and just want to cover a little strategy that I picked up by watching some of the pro players on how to deal with early aggression against your Protoss opponent. Here I am on the top right, my opponent lower right. I was under the impression that on the ladder it was forced diagonal spawns. My first SCV goes diagonal to the lower left, nothing there. So I go to the top, nothing there. And then I eventually make my way down, where incidentally I actually saw more information because it was a much later scout. First depot goes down. Our Protoss opponent is sending his scout after that first pylon at 9. Pylon is done at exactly the point where he would have been supply blocked. Front of boosts 2 more probes. He's got his opening down pretty pat. And he spots an opening in the wall. He goes down, obviously trying to harass my SCV, but there's no access. Now there is, so. But I move. I mean, that's just the AI. I'm not doing anything. So when that happens, I gotta pull an SCV. Otherwise, he'll just keep on going until my SCV is dead, and then I'm held up with my production, and it's a big pain in the rear end. Gateway going down. He's going to want to gas and another pylon. And then a side report after that. So the build I'm going to go with is a 2 racks, then a Ghost Academy, so I can make at least 1 ghost, and then a factory. What I want to do with the factory isn't necessarily to justify making a nuke, but so I can lay down a add-on, a reactor add-on, lift my factory, float it over for scouting, build a starport on top of that, and then pump medvacs as soon as I'm able to. The probe finally dies. Just speed through this a little bit. I'll go to his camp. Actually, no, I'll go to my camp. It does a little sneaky thing that takes me by surprise. Better if you see it from my point of view.
Add-on complete. Our SCVs are under attack.
I'm not really certain as to what time I should actually lay down my second gas, because you're getting a ghost that's 200 gas. I'm getting marauders that's 25 gas. I'm gonna run out of gas really quick. But what I find is later on, as we get into the game, even this short game, this is a very short game, I have too much gas and not enough minerals. So having a hard time finding that sweet spot. We'll bring up the production tab. I should do that more often. You can see he's building a warp prison, so there's going to be some shenanigans. First ghost is coming out at 4-7 minutes. Fairly early. Trying to be as productive as I can with my production things. Let me slow it down. Zealots in the mineral line, wonderful. So I move the SCVs away. I think I have enough to deal with this without having to bring in my SCVs. But yeah, I start to bring him over thinking, well, I don't know, he could always reinforce, you know, or a bit more dudes, so. But yeah, I handled that pretty well. I think I had a bigger army than he did. I did have a bigger army than he did. So I go ahead and I lift off my factory. I'm getting ready to prepare for my own push. Resaturate the gases, laid out my starport. Lower those depots so I can rally guys. So my barracks rally point is one of the units. That way they will go right out into the field as soon as they're ready. You too, Mr. Marauder. So I just kind of paved the way with my factory. Don't forget the starport. There we go. Takes a while to build the starport and to build the medvacs, but I'm not going to wait for them. I want to strike while the iron's hot. Gonna get a lay of the land. What I'm looking for is sentries. I want to land an EMP on a sentry so that he won't be able to force field this ramp. There we go. Boom. Not a perfect shot, but I did take out the both of his shields. He only had enough energy for one, by the looks of it. So it didn't look like he was prepared for this. He had expanded, which tells me that he thought he had a little reprieve. So he didn't have much for army. Now I'm going to move my factory into position so that I can spot any units that are going to be on the ramp coming down at me. He doesn't have much. He has one sentry. Enough energy for one force field, which isn't enough. I don't believe this is a one force field ramp. I could be wrong. So, I mean, I could split my army in half and still take care of this guy. So I'm working down his nexus. And GG's. Real quick, we'll look at it from his point of view. So it was a 3-gate Robo. We wanted to get a warp prism up, obviously. My thinking was he didn't really have a solid backup plan, because his backup plan didn't include having a sizable army to deal with any counterattack. I think he made a forge, but it was probably too late for any cannons. Bye-bye. Get that warp gate ready ASAP. 2 more gateways. What was your other one? You got the money. Yep. Fortunately, I was able to get my SCV out, whereas he lost his scouting worker. Alright, so let's take a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 gates and a robo. We can't produce out all these at the same time. Although I think maybe he was probably planning on just making the one warp prism and leaving it so that he can just rely on 4 gates. Alright, he's done with his warp tech. Upgrading. Stop. He can make 2 more right now. He could make 2 more right now and elevate elevated them up. It would only cost him, you know, maybe 10 more seconds. Whatever. He's got 4 he can use. Oh no, I'm sorry. He didn't have the money. So, yeah. Probably should have just went with 3 gates. Whatever money he would have saved, that could have been another unit, at least. 4 gates are not doing anything. Could have reinforced, but probably chose not to, simply because my army was superior to his, and why bother throwing units away? But he's not making use of the cooldown time. Okay, yeah, 2 there. Again, the question is money. Stop real quick. Harvester count. Ooh. Huh. I'm totally ignorant when it comes to Protoss, but it seems to me that he could have been more efficient in building an army quicker. I've seen guys, you know, after 6 minutes, they're warping guys in sets of 4. So he just, for whatever reason, wasn't able to muster up a quick army. He is making use of his robo facility because I saw a couple of models, or at least one, when I pushed. This point of view. Alright, this is the factory. Oops. There's the immortal. Down goes his army. Not much he could have done. Not much he could have done at all at that point. So there it is. I mean, the purpose of this video is I wanted to demonstrate how you can float a factory to get vision up a ramp, and if he's got sentries, a well-placed EMP can knock out the shield-producing, force field-producing units. If you time it just right, you can have stim too, but his push into my base threw me off my game, and I didn't actually ever get stim ready. But that's the thesis behind this build. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. See you later. Adios.